Oh, God, don't let it be true, I thought as I drove the car in and out of traffic. He can't be serious, or could he be? Just half an hour ago, I was working at the bank, helping some family get a loan for their first home. Then the phone rang. The police. My husband had been seen in our house with a gun. A gun? Yes, ma'am. A neighbor came by to pick something up and saw him. He seems to be threatening suicide. We need you to help us talk him out of it. Suicide? But Connor loved life. He'd always been so happy and lucky. Why would he? It couldn't be. I dismissed the thought as I turned onto our street. It was a real circus. Several police cars lined the road as their passengers surrounded our house. Old Man Parker's yard even had a local TV station's truck set up. I tried to walk through to avoid the commotion to get to it, but an officer stopped me. Miss, you need to take a detour. We have a situation here and... That's my house, officer. My husband's in there. I interrupted him with a yell. The man looked at me for a second, then gestured for me to pull through. I parked the car and then got out, but the local media attacked me. Is your husband too violent, Mrs. Richards? Has he tried to kill himself before? Is he wanted for any crimes elsewhere? I had no idea how to answer these people. Why couldn't they just leave me alone? My husband, my love. He needs me, but they swarmed around me, not letting me get to him. An officer grabbed my arm and saved me from the vultures. He led me to a van across the street from my house. Outside, several men were talking at a small table. I can put a sniper in the house right here. Should be able to get a shot from here. We're not here to kill him, another man replied. We have to help him. He's a danger to himself and to us. If he attacks my men, then... No! I shouted at them. Everyone turned toward me. When they started to ask who the hell I was, they were answered by a young female officer. This is Mrs. Richards. Oh, thank you, Carrie. A second man approached me. Ma'am, my name is Toby Curtis. I'm a negotiator for the local police department. Can I talk to you for a second? The first man stopped him. We need to know how many guns he has. Maybe there's a damn militia in there and... We don't have a gun, I interrupted. I don't know where he got the one you say he has. Must have bought it today. That's good. We can check the local gun stores and... Rick, could you let me do my job first before you start shooting? The look on my face seemed to stop this Rick. Are they serious about shooting my husband? Come here, Mrs. Richards. Toby led me away. I need to ask you a few questions. Has your husband been depressed lately? No, not really. Liar, I said to myself. I should tell them. No, they don't need to know that. He sighed. Ma'am, can I call you Jennifer? I nodded. Did you know your husband quit his job 2 days ago? No, he didn't. I mean, we talked last night. He was so happy and... You mean he was happier than usual? Well, we had some problems, but I solved them and we're back to our best. He was happy. What kind of problems? Sir, it had nothing to do with... Jennifer, I hate to be nosy, but the more information we have, the more we can help your husband. Another officer ran up to us. Hey, Toby, we've made contact with this man. How? I thought the phone wasn't working. Somehow he's got a signal going to the live truck across the street. They say we can use their equipment if they can get exclusivity for the broadcast. I don't like that. How could he transmit a signal to them? My husband worked at the station. He was the engineer on their truck. He installed half that equipment, so if anyone could, he could, I replied. I don't think I was hiding my pride in his intelligence in my voice. They led me to the news truck. It was very similar to what I remembered. Inside, one of the pretty reporters who used to attack me was talking into a microphone while looking at one of the screens. To my horror, Connor appeared on the screen. His appearance had changed so much that I was startled. His chest was bare, and his hair, which normally reached his shoulders, was now cut almost short. But what scared me the most was the gun in his hand. Connor hated guns. He knew I was afraid of them. What was it for, unless... Fear squeezed my heart again. Toby took the microphone away from the lady. Connor, this is Toby Curtis. I'm here to help you. Shut up! Connor's voice was unlike anything I'd ever heard him say before. It was filled with anger, pain, and even hopelessness. A voice I would have expected to come from some crazy person, not my loving husband. I know what you're doing. You're trying to stop me, but I can't be stopped. I must do this on my own. I can't keep doing this. I can't live with what I've done. I can't forgive it anymore. She can't forgive me. I can't forgive myself. Connor, who is she? Is that your wife? Jennifer is here. I can put her on if you want. You can talk to... Oh, you cannot fool me. She's not there. You'll just fool me. She won't come. How can we prove she's here, Connor? Show her to me. Let me see her. We can't do that, Connor. Not with your gun. Her safety. Then put her on the air. Put us in a compartmentalized box. Toby turned to the girl. What's he talking about? Oh, it's a regular thing for television news. He'll be on one side of the screen and she'll be on the other. That way they can talk to each other. Set it up. Give us, 3 minutes and we'll be on the air. On the air? You mean live? I asked, wondering what was going on. Honey, how else is he going to see you? The next few minutes were a blur. They were setting up the camera and talking on the phone with the station. The next thing I knew, I was in front of the camera with this weird device in my ear, all mic'd up and waiting for something. Something. Suddenly, I heard a voice in my ear, Connor's voice. Is that you, honey? Are you really here? Oh, Connor, what are you doing? I'm doing what I should have done 2 weeks ago. When I woke up next to Sherry, I should have put an end to it. But I didn't. Now I have to pay the price. I can't stay here. Not after what I've done. No, he was still at it. I told him it was over. I'd gotten my revenge on him. What am I going to do if he... Honey, that's all in the past. We've moved on. I've forgiven you. You forgave me, but I can't forgive myself. I've been a good husband, but after the party, I had to ruin everything. I had to... He was still guilty about it. That thought began to eat away at me, joined by my own guilt. I can't let him put an end to this. I love him so much. To hell with Sherry and her ideas, if she hadn't. You know that funny thing, honey? I can't remember it. All I remember is that I felt so bad the next day. That was all you drank, dear. You weren't in your right mind. Drunk. You couldn't help what happened. But I could. And look what I did. I broke my vows and I made you break them too. I could feel the eyes of the people around me looking at me, but I had to keep going. He was so excited, so shocked. He was serious. Oh, darling, I should never have done it, but I thought I had to get back at you. Paul didn't mean anything, but you enjoyed it. I know you made me listen. I made you trample on yourself. What kind of a man does that? Darling, we can get over it. My revenge was stupid. I never should have listened to Sherry about... Sherry? I thought you weren't talking to her anymore. Oh, shit. I had to start the explanation so quickly. She came to me. She apologized. She said I had to get back at you. I think her own pain made her say that. Jen, I love you, but I can't do this. I slept with another woman. I broke your trust. I deserve to die. I can't live with that knowledge. His words hurt me to the core. Then, to my horror, he put the gun to my head. No, he's going to... I can't let him. The words were out of my mouth before I could get him to answer. You never slept with Sherry. Everything was quiet. I think everyone was shocked. No one was more shocked than me or Connor. I can't believe I just told him the truth, I thought. I swore I would never tell him. What do you mean? I woke up next to her. We were naked. She told me that we... I couldn't let this go on. She's lying. Then how? We drugged you, Connor, to make you think you were cheating. I knew you never would, but we thought if you thought you cheated, you'd let me sleep with Paul. I'm sorry, honey, but I just wanted to sleep with him. Nothing else. I had... Why did you do that? What did I do wrong? Nothing. It was all me. Sherry kept telling me what a great lover he was. When we got married, we were virgins. I just wanted to see what I was missing. I'm sorry, darling. You've never broken your vows. You're a good man. You were going to let me think I was cheating on you? How long did you plan this? How did you drug me? Didn't you care? I could have died. Oh, honey, I know you wouldn't have. I almost called for an end to it when you were so sick all those days. But when you got better, I decided I could go ahead with the plan. We came up with it a month or so ago. We couldn't get you interested in Sherry, so we came up with this. I just needed to sleep with Paul. It was something new, and I was so excited. What did you give me? Sherry stole something from the hospital where she volunteers. I don't know what it was, but it worked. It worked too well. She tried to pick you up, but you didn't. She was really waiting for you. For how long, Jennifer? How long were you going to let me live in this hell? Oh, honey, I thought if we just did it once and then I came back to you a few days later, we could get past it. We could get past this. I still love you. Love me, love me. Connor disappeared from the cell. As I waited for him to return, I started to panic. Then I heard our front door slam. Connor was coming out of the house. His eyes were wild and he was still holding the gun in his hand. The police started yelling at him, but Toby calmed them down. Do you love me? Love doesn't mean you're trying to kill me, Jen. You don't try to make the one you love rape some whore. Many of the officers continued to yell at Connor to put the gun down and surrender. Toby was thrashing back and forth trying to stop them. I was wrong, Connor, I yelled back. I've got to get him to calm down, I thought. He'll forgive me. He always does. I was just obsessed. I never meant to hurt you. I ran toward him, but an officer held me back. You made me think I was some fucking adulterer. Do you have any idea how much that killed me? You think I hurt you so badly that you sacrificed your fidelity to some stranger to get back at me? Connor began pacing back and forth across our yard. I can't do that, Jen. You betrayed me. You could have killed me. Then you tried to kill my heart, my soul, my love. Now you think we can just go back to normal. What was supposed to happen when you were possessed again? Would I eventually die so you could have an affair without guilt? The world around us shrank. There was nothing but the two of us and the pain I'd caused. No, it was just a one-time thing. I would never do it again. Connor, I love you so much, I yelled. I could just see my life disappearing before my eyes. It's over, Jen. I loved you and you did it. Goodbye, I screamed as he put the gun in my mouth. I turned away as he started to pull the trigger. I couldn't watch the love of my life end it all because I needed a new lover. How could I have been so stupid? I waited for the explosion, but I didn't hear anything. I could have sworn the cop holding me was laughing. I looked at him. He was laughing. I looked at several other officers, and they were all holding back laughter. What were they doing? Horrified, I turned to my husband and saw him with a look of disgust on his face. He began to cough. The image of our cat taking out a hairball as he took the gun out of his mouth came to mind. Lemon, lemon, whose goddamn idea is this? Connor put the muzzle of the gun in his hand and pulled the trigger a few times. They're all lemons. At that, all the cops laughed. Nice one, guys, but I always carry a reload. Connor pulled the clip out of his pistol. Funny, I always thought that magazines for firearms were different. He pulled a new one out of his pocket and inserted it. Then he put the gun back in his mouth and pulled the trigger. Stunned, I watched as he began to chew. Cherry, I love that flavor. He looked at me, then at the shocked TV reporters. Connor's laughter echoed in my head. Oh, you thought you were called to rescue me, honey. Remember last week when I was testing all that new security equipment for Max? Well, one of them was an electronic ear. And guess what I heard? You and that slut Sherry talking about your little conspiracy. You backed me up pretty good. I was at the end of my rope. But then I heard you. And I got mad. The officer holding me took my hands and put them behind me. I could feel the handcuffs as he put them on. We couldn't charge you with anything then, dear, because it would just be my word against yours. That's when the officers and I came up with this. Connor pointed to the circus around us. We just didn't expect the news van to show up, but we regrouped. He grinned. It was so easy with you. Now we can charge you. My loving wife. I wonder what exactly they'll come up with. I think we were talking, Toby, about aggravated assault. What about abuse of a controlled substance? Of course they'll blame it on Sherry. Thanks for the confession. And we put it all on live TV. Do you think your parents watched? The sarcasm in his voice made me freeze to the core. An officer approached me and placed a blue paper in my jacket pocket. You were served at 2:18 p.m., June 8th, thank you. Served? No, it couldn't have been. I just wanted to try another man, to feel younger again, To have one last affair before we have kids, before I become a mom. What? You think I'm going to stay married to a slut like you? Oh my God, you really think I'm a fool? Connor turned to the reporter. I'm sorry I deceived you, my dear, but it was the only way. My world was crumbling. This couldn't be happening. I had dreams of having kids with Connor this year. I was going to be a little soccer mom with little soccer players. We were going to have picnics and barbecues. I had a husband who loved me. Oh no. Oh my God. Let this be a nightmare that I didn't wake up from. What did I do? It wasn't even that good. How could I make him forgive me? As the officer took me away to read me my rights, I heard her reply, "Oh, is that okay? Oh, can I have an interview? Maybe just the two of us? Maybe over dinner?" That's when I realized it was over.